Two tonalities that you should avoid at all costs. Hi, my name is Tonality. Today we're going to talk about communication, but specifically two tonalities that you should avoid at all costs. Number one is the questioning tonality. And the questioning tonality is really when you do an uptone at the end of your sentences. So if I wanted to say something like, I really want to pick a flower, right? Even though I'm making a statement, because of the uptone at the end of the sentence, it sounds like I'm questioning my statement. And it can make a person look like they're not confident. It can make a person look like they're unsure of what they're even saying. I know this is a fairly common, obvious one, but just remember, either talk in neutral tonality or a downtone tonality. The second tonality mistake to avoid is the thinking tonality. And this is something that is personally really hard for me, or I should say it's a challenge for me, because I tend to be the person who wants to think out loud. And the thinking tonality goes something like this. Hey, what would you like to do today? I would like to pick a flower today. So, even though this isn't a questioning tonality, because at the end of the sentence, of course, I did a downtone. However, that whole entire sentence seems like I'm very unconfident, unsure in what I am saying. But why is that? Well, number one, I slowed down that whole entire sentence because I was thinking while I was thinking about, wait, what words should I say, right? I was thinking it through while I was opening my mouth. And another thing was that it was a high pitched, right? Well, I was thinking, right? So it's very high pitched, and I'm elongating my words to really buy time on what I'm going to say. It doesn't mean you can't elongate your words ever, right? For emphasis and things of that nature. But when you elongate your words, it has to be intentional. And if at all possible, we don't want to do a high pitch. So if I said that in a more neutral tonality without a high pitch, it makes it that much different. So I'll give you an example. Well, I would like to pick a flower. So, even though that sounded really weird, but that being said, taking away the high-pitched part of that and making it more neutral pitch, even though I still elongated my word, I still elongated the whole sentence, it was a little bit more seemingly confident. Really, we want to avoid the high pitch, the elongated words, and the elongated sentence all together. So you might be thinking to yourself, how do I practically avoid the thinking tonality? I have two tips for you. So number one, if you can have a pen to paper and write things out before you speak it out loud, then I recommend that personally. But we know that we can't always have a pen to paper situation. In that case, generally speaking, I would say to practice being in dead space, because what happens is oftentimes when somebody asks us a question, friend, a stranger, doesn't matter, we have this tendency to want to answer back right away, because we're not really equipped to hang out into the dead space. And so in that case, really just practicing being in that dead space is going to help you tons. In the meantime, if you are the type of person who you just know in your heart of hearts that that's going to be very difficult to even stop yourself from doing, I would want to put a placeholder there. Now, don't use this crutch overtly, and you don't want to do this too much either, because it becomes a really big annoyance. But it's something that I do every once in a while as a little bit of a crutch in order to really get myself comfortable in a dead space. And that's by saying, So you're verbalizing a little bit of something, right, to hold that space. However, you're not actually saying anything. So do that as you will, but please keep in mind, if you do it too much, then that in itself becomes a thinking tonality, and we want to avoid that at all costs. All right, comment below. Let me know if you've either experienced somebody do a questioning tonality or a thinking tonality, and you just thought, wow, for some reason I can't listen to them. Or you yourself have done that tonality as well. Tell me, how did you feel when you heard somebody do that kind of tonality? Comment below, let me know, and I will see you on the next video, only if you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you'll be notified, hit that like button if you like today's content, and I will see you then.